Hello everyone, my name is Alyssa Wong. I'm your instructor and welcome to Payroll Accounting. Let's start with Chapter 1, the need for payroll and personnel record. As a payroll accountant, you are responsible for any time work, the employee work, and pay rate changes and tax rate changes. And you're responsible also for the employee authorized payroll deduction, such as 401k plan deduction and their marital status and employee allowance changes. The American Payroll Association is free for anyone to join. They have list of the code of ethics. You're supposed to keep up with the development of payroll technology, and you're supposed to maintain a absolute confidentiality of the payroll. The Fair Labor Standards Act, they monitor the records that explain the basis of the wages difference. They also display a poster informing an employee of the provision of the tax law, and they also cover the employers that engage in interstate commerce. The Federal Insurance Contribution Act. This act is on the employee and employer. They tax on employee and employer for the Social Security and the Medicare. They also tax on individual that is self-employed individual, such as if you are individual contractor, independent contractor, or if you open a 7-Eleven store and you file 1040 Schedule C, you are subject to this act. The income tax withholding law. The income tax is assessed on the net earning of each employee and is deducted from their gross pay. Who withheld the employee's gross pay is their employers. At the end of the tax year, each person filed tax return and they are comparing the income tax withheld from their employee with the actual tax that they need to pay on the income tax and get a refund, or they need to pay back to the government. This is called federal income tax. Federal income tax is a percentage formula used by the employer to withhold any specific amount from each wage payment. And the state also with the employer also withheld some state tax too. Unemployment Tax Act. The filter is for the Federal Unemployment Tax Act. The State Unemployment Tax Act is shorter. This two acts is on the employers only. The employee does not need to pay unemployment tax. They assess on the employers. Immigration Reform and Control Act. I'm not going to talk about it. You can read this slide. Family and Medical Leave Act. You also can read the slides too. Employee Retirement Income Security Act of 1974. It covers employee pension and welfare plans. This law does not require every employer to establish a pension plan. Some employers, they have pension plan for their employees, some they don't. And every employee is eligible after reaching the age of 21 or completing 1 year of service. If the employer has the pension, every employer is eligible to join. The vesting is the period that is the right for the employee to share a retirement fund. Other state tax law, the workers' compensation law, protects employees and their dependents against loss due to the work-related injuries, illness, or death. This is work-related injury, okay? Human resources and payroll accounting system. The human resource will provide all the procedures and methods relating to recruiting or selecting or training any new employees. First, they have to give the examination application to the employee, and then later on, they will have an interview process for the employee. And then some of the employers, they have some tests to give out to the new employees to see if they pass the test, if they fit for the jobs. And then later on, they check the references to verify the information on the application is true or not. And then they go through the selections to select the applicant. And after they get the selection, they send information to the payroll department and they prepare personnel file. The job description should describe the duties of each employee, the attendance requirement, their background, their education background, and their supervisor, who their supervisor is, and the position that is the applicant will be responsible for overseeing. The requisition for personnel, it is a pre-printed form or a memo. The pre-printed form will indicate the type and number of persons needed, the position to be filled, and their pay rate, salary range, and the days the employee is needed, a summary of any specific qualification, and the position is for permanent or temporary. Application for employment. The form gives the applicant an opportunity to provide complete information, the personal information such as name, address, and telephone number, and social security number, the education background, employment and experience record, and the type of employment desired, and the references. References inquiry. Many methods in the references inquiry may be used. A standard reference inquiry form or a telephone reference is used because a more frank opinion of the candidate is received over the telephone. Sometimes the form mailed to the person and or to the company, and the form never come back. So telephone reference would be more sufficient or fast. I'm not going to talk about this employee history record. You can read this slide. And the procedure in payroll accounting system, you can read this slide too. And the payroll register, employee earning record, you can read this slide. Paycheck. When the employee is paid by check or a check is written for each worker using the amount of net pay, okay? Paying workers in cash or by check or by any electronic transfer into their bank account. Outsourcing payroll. Many companies that find payroll, processing payroll is a numerous job that they rather outsourcing the payroll company to a ADP company. The end. Thank you.